In our first match for today, we have Niels Vandevelde versus Matti Pisman. These are both very regular players, and Niels Vandevelde has made quite an impression with the Bond Flyers deck, which he originated. So let's see how this match develops. We already see that Niels is not on his usual band Flyers. It's another brew that him and his brother have been working on that did pretty well at the last event. And the Dragon Folder. So this is a black-red tokens deck that has some other game as well that we'll see later on. I'll try to avoid talking about things that aren't clear about the immediate game state because the players at this point can hear me, so I want to avoid influencing the match a bit too much. Also, we ordered a bunch of equipment, so the next stream on Saturday should look and sound a lot better. This is still a little bit getting to know the software, so you're in it with us to discover. I'm not sure what that creature was.
On the war cleric.
A war cleric.
Impulse? Yeah. Dash Hector's Imp. Yep.
So Niels clearing the board and dashing in an imp.
This is a steam. Islands. Draw and serie. Go.
So apparently Matti is on the black-white ally / life game deck. It suddenly bursted out in a meta game a month and a half ago. And it's quite capable of taking control of an entire game. And a brutal Horde Chief.
Please name.
So Niels played the brutal Horde Chief, promising to complicate combat in future turns quite a bit there. Like other times, I have half an eye on the chat, but please don't blame me if I don't react to it fast enough. There is a lot I have to keep an eye on. So the second Drana equalizes the life totals. Second Drana's emissary. So Niels now has the choice of using the ability, which he does.
Yep.
And the
Yep.
And forces the blocks.
I hate
12.
Go.
Alright. Please name.
Ja, 19.
13. Go.
Thanks for the heads up there. Alright, so apparently Matti doesn't really have anything to come back on, while Niels is firmly in control with both the Horde Chief and a superior board. That's the 2-2 dash imp.
Aanval met D3.
Mhm.
Train 3.
Yep.
22.
So the Horde Chief steals a bunch of life, and apparently we missed the lives gain for Niels in the last round. So he's actually at 23,
22.
looking very firmly in control. Matti with the choice to trade with the imp or just pick off a goblin.
Emulating player.
And we have the removal for the imp.
And the goblins gaan door.
Chooses not to block. He wants to
Yep.
wants to keep his board safe.
Gearcraft.
Yep.
And again, apparently we missed a drain here somewhere. So let's just double check. Life totals are 23-8?
Yes.
Okay. So these are the collective life totals, guys.
Plus 1 million.
Yep. 22.
Drana's emissary doing her work. This time Matti decides to develop the board with a Gurmuk Angler. So he has some fat on the board, but looks like Niels is pretty comfortable with this. And I imagine we'll find out soon why.
Activeer.
Yep.
Yeah, when he controls the
Alle
combat
keertjes
step.
gaan in goblin blokken.
Yep.
De rest valt daar train voor 5.
Yep.
Ja.
En dan hebben we lethal.
Dat is wel lethal.
Very lethal.
Amai, hard.
Okay, game 1. Almost single-handedly won on 2 activations of the brutal Horde Chief. You have to be prepared for these big cards. It's what makes the format a bit random, but also a lot more exciting to win on one card. But you know the old saying that bombs win games and removal wins matches. So let's hope that Matti is ready for this strategy after sideboarding. So like I said before, this is still a very experimental setup. If you have...
Okay, players, welcome back to round 2. We
That's
have
not what's
Ruud
supposed to
Max
happen.
versus Case Waitens. You see the tiara in the top.
Stop! Okay. So this is still an experimental setup. We're still trying out a lot of different things. If you have any advice or complaints or things we could or should do better, feel free to say it in the chat. Apparently we're already 5 people. So welcome everybody. So let me know in the chat, are you players of this format? Are you new and interested? Is this a weird, strange new world for you? Or are you hoping to see certain decks appear? If there's a particular deck you want to see, put it in the chat. We can see if we can cherry pick our feature matches for you. In between matches we'll also try to supply you guys with some deck decks or some coverage from earlier, so there won't be any dull moments in the stream this time. In the meantime, we see our players excuse me. We see our players sideboarding. It looks like both of them have quite a bit of cards to put in their decks. You might think they're well prepared. considering that tokens and aggro decks are a very common occurrence in the meta game, you would assume that both of these players have access to different types of sweepers or extra removal. So let's see if they chose. Let's see what they chose and how it plays out in game 2. Welcome to our strange new world, Dane, or Danel, or however I have to pronounce your name. If you have any questions, feel free to ask them. So for those interested, we're currently in Outpost Ghent. It's a game center in Ghent, Belgium. This is also the place where this format was invented and developed as a way to give a constructed experience to new and beginning players who don't have the collection or the funds for a fully fledged standard deck. Matti is 1-0 down, so he gets to start game 2.
Go.
On 21, the common lands from Khans of Tarkir that come into play tapped and gain 1 life are pretty much cornerstones of this format, so expect to see them quite a bit. Niels also turn 1 fixer, and we have a Calastria healer. So Matti on the black-white allies deck already has his first drain effect going. Niels on a black-red tokens dash concoction that's pretty new in the meta game, but already proven itself at the last event. Let's see if it continues on its dominating spree. Niels' deck is also sort of the proof that even though this is a simplified version of standard, there's a lot of design space and a lot of possibilities. And still a lot that we haven't discovered, and keep in mind this is 2 weeks before the rotation, so and Dragon Folder. So he opens in the same manner as last time. I don't think I ever saw Niels start the game without turn 2 Dragon Folder, so maybe we should check his deck from time to time.
Yep.
So Niels still building up. In the meantime, Matti looks to be quite stuck in the mana department. This might be a very quick first match, but don't worry, we have some stuff ready for you to put in between rounds, so even if this ends in 10 minutes, we will keep you entertained.
Result. Go.
We have a Reef Soul on the Doctor Engineer. So that's the problem with decks like, well, with conventional removal. When all your creatures are actually creatures in a package, then removing one of them doesn't really do very much. Niels already on the aggressive. He is dashing stuff in though, so it is comes at a tempo. Here we see the evolving wilds. It's it's a mana source. You can't use the turn you play it. So, as we'll see in the deck takes, a lot of players are choosing to play less lands that come into play tapped in favor of lands that come into play untapped, because of course it's easier to play on curve.
Nog 4.
Niels reloads with another Totter Engineer and comes in for 4, but apparently Matti has something up his sleeve here. Yeah, here we go.
Met Glenn. Een beetje zonde, maar.
Destroys another attacking creature.
Ja. Er is nog heel veel aanspraken voor.
Yeah, the kind of removal you need against decks like this is Hissing Miasma or Flame Tendrils. The targeted removal is a lot less effective because you leave so much behind. Niels gains 1 life from his land.
Go Unified Front.
Unified front for 2 ally tokens, I think. 3?
3.
Ah, yeah,
Hollow.
the green, yeah. For 3. I missed the jungle hollow there. That would have been a lot better if he still had the Calastra either. We already see the theme of Matti's deck. So this could be a good answer for Matti. He can trade away with the goblins, but Niels of course has cards to play of his own. And there we have Kulagan dashed into play.
En allemaal zeker.
And he attacks with all the safe attackers.
Zij staan niet meer damage. Elk krijgt plus 1.
Ja.
9 damage.
Niels is coming in for 9.
Ja.
Nou, 6 nemen.
Zie.
Decides
Ah, ja, ja.
to take 7 damage. Down to 6. No?
Ja. 6 tot
Ah.
het uit.
Yeah. Don't try to trick me and make me believe that I made a mistake. Kids these days. Okay, Matti, come on. Dig yourself out of this one. There's quite a bit of work cut out for him, though.
Go.
He chooses to pass the turn, so let's hope he has some tricks up his sleeve. And we have 9 viewers. Welcome everyone. Still amazes me to see people popping in this stream when the content is still so experimental, but everybody's welcome. So thanks for being around, and if you want to ask questions, feel free to do so on the chat.
Dash plus.
Dashing the imp into play
Dash plus.
and other imp. So choosing to go a bit wider. he probably expects that playing his Kulagon would end up with just meeting some removal, and spreading out wider makes it a lot safer to attack. It also makes that he has Kulagon as a backup card in case things do go wrong in this combat step. It's a conservative and pretty smart play. And again, Matti's tokens have very little to do. Choose to block again. That would be 5 damage coming through. And that's it. Matti goes to 1. Okay, let's see what comes out of the top. Matti's been fighting an uphill battle since the beginning. And plays a Ghana's Emissary. He has some mana available though, and passes the turn. Remember, he needs to stop every creature that comes over this turn. And we'll see Niels go wide again. 6 attackers. And the removal spell, adding insult to the injury, rubbing salt in the wounds. 2-0 Niels Vandevelde.
Ik had toen toch een Kulagon ging gespeeld.
And that's the end of the first round. Thank you very much everybody for being with us. There will be some content in between the rounds, so stick around, have fun. I might not be with the chat as attentively because there are some other stuff we have to do.
Met een dubbel white had gehaald voor Gideon, maar ik hem dan niet meer kon spelen omdat hij zoveel flyers had.
Centering screen, that's our King of the Hill symbol. Taze is currently our King of the Hill. That means that anyone who plays against him and beats him gets the tiara and an extra booster. If Taze himself wins, a random booster will be handed out. Mentioning back the leaderboard, Ruud is currently in 3rd position, and with both of the opponents above him losing a round, he's going to fight for second on the leaderboard and in position to win a bye. We also just had an announcement that people in 3rd, 4th or 5th place will be receiving free boosters for their
vorige keer merkte dat ik veel last had, maar had de andere ook veel tokens speelt.
Ja.
Dat gaf ik niet.
Oh ja, het is met die flyer uiteraard. Anders had ik 2 Unified Fronts naar elkaar kunnen spelen, maar ik ook 6 had. Maar met die flyers, dan maakt het wel.
Niet een beetje, maar jullie mogen doen wat je wil. Ja, je moet niks speciaal doen. Okay, so as I said earlier, this is still very experimental. We're still developing everything. A lot of things need to be talked about at the last minute notice. So you'll hear a lot of conversations about either life totals or what is or isn't allowed that we're addressing at the time itself. Sorry for that, but there's not much we can do about this. Like I said, this is still very much an experiment going on. Okay, so I have a second monitor that should get the chat open if I find the chat again. So All right, I see we have some extra viewers. Welcome, guys. Is the sound okay now? I can still put it higher if you want. Okay, in the